Notice that this meeting was advertised in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Mr. Garner?
Here.
Ms. Jackson? Present. Mr. Allen?
Here.
Ms. Struglow will be absent this evening. Mr. Cordier?
Present. Meeting is called to order. Closed session resolution number 59, 2017 authorizes council to go into closed session. Mr. Bear.
Well, we have Bartholomew versus Township of Pemberton, which is a workers' compensation litigation.
Anything further?
I don't have anything
Administration, anything further? Council, is there a motion?
Motion to approve resolution number 59-2017, workers' compensation.
Second.
Poll the council, please.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson? Yes. Mr. Gardner?
Yes.
Mr. Cordier?
Yes. Council will now go into closed session. We will promptly return, if not before 7 p.m. A couple of things that we need to do before we move forward. We have 3 resolutions we need to add to the agenda, to the consent agenda. Resolution number 67, 2017, a resolution authorizing the purchase of hot mix asphalt from American Asphalt Company Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $20,000.
Motion to add resolution number 67-2017.
To the consent agenda?
Yes.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Council, please.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson? Yes. Mr. Gardner?
Yes.
Mr. Cordier?
Yes. Resolution number 68, 2017, a resolution authorizing the purchase of hot mixed asphalt from American Asphalt Company Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $130,000 under the Burlington County Cooperative Contracts 4BUCCP 15048.
I'll make a motion to add resolution number 68, 2017 to the consent agenda.
Second.
Poll the council, please.
Ms. Jackson? Yes. Mr. Gardner?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Cordier?
Yes. Mrs. Barrow, I'll let you do this one.
Yes. This would be Resolution 69-2017, a resolution authorizing settlement of a workers' compensation claim entitled Crystal Bartholomew versus Township of Pemberton, and authorizing the mayor to execute any documents necessary to effectuate the terms of the settlement.
Is there a motion? To add it to the consent agenda?
Yes. I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I second.
Poll the council, please.
Ms. Jackson? Yes. Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Gardner?
Yes.
Mr. Cordier?
Yes. Moving on to the resolutions. Resolution 60, 2017, recognition of dedication to public service for Patrolman Andre Bird. The resolution, whereas Andre Bird has served with distinction in the Pemberton Township Police Department for over 25 years, and whereas Andre Bird, during his tenure with Pemberton Township, has given of his time and knowledge and service to the residents of the Township of Pemberton, now therefore be resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Pemberton, assembled in public session on this 15th day of February 2017, that the Township Council does hereby commend Andre Bird for his contribution and dedicated service to the Township of Pemberton. Be it further, we, Mr. Bird, could not be here this evening. He had a prior commitment. We do extend our heartfelt thanks to his service to the Township and wish him well in his retirement. Is there a motion to approve this resolution?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I second.
Poll the council, please.
Ms. Jackson? Yes. Mr. Gardner?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Cordier?
Yes. Public comments. Anyone wishing to make comments for this council this evening, please come forward. State your name, print your name, and make your comments. Yes, Ms. Quinn.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Couple of questions, please. regard to the newly added resolution 67 in 2017 and 68 2017, we purchasing asphalt for our roads because, and is this coming out of, didn't we bonded money for this?
Mr. Gonzalez?
Yeah, the asphalt is for a road construction program. The resolution for $20,000, we have a certification of existing funds in several capital line items. So there is no additional cost to either the last budget or the current budget. It's in funded capital accounts, so it's $20,000. The $130,000 resolution is contingent upon adoption of the budget, and it does, even if the council adopts the resolution, it does not go into effect and cannot go into effect until the chief financial officer certifies that funds are available in an adopted 2017 budget. And as has been suggested in the past, that we try to put some of these costs into the current budget. That's what we've done with a substantial amount of asphalt. And in the proposed budget, that $130,000 is in the other expense line for streets and roads in the proposed budget.
64 2017, if my memory serves me correctly, at the last council meeting, there was talk that Mr. Danatum, or the person whose hand is supposed to be paying the township, he hadn't been paying, and there was talk at the last meeting of possibly taking him to court. Can somebody explain this amendment, please?
Sure, I will. We actually have filed a lawsuit in the Superior Court, and in between the filing of the lawsuit in the Superior Court and today, the principal of Danatom, Mr. Tom Critelli, has agreed to certain changes to the agreement that will require him to move expeditiously to get this project before the planning board and approved, and to have a closing within the next couple of months. So what is before the council is a resolution to authorize the Fourth Amendment to the original agreement with Mr. Critelli that goes back to 2006 or 2007. The lawsuit remains in place until and hopefully the council authorizes this agreement. Mr. Critelli has already signed it, and once the Fourth Amendment is signed, then we will voluntarily dismiss the lawsuit, and Mr. Critelli has a very short period of time to get all of the information that is necessary for submission to the planning board.
Can you summarize the changes, please?
The changes primarily have to do with the language in the contract that in absolute terms requires him to get the final approvals for the project, and that the final approvals for the project and the submission of the final approvals will trigger a reasonable short period of time by which he would have to close on the property, essentially buy the property from the township as he agreed to many years ago, and pay the township in 3 installments, as has been a part of prior amendments. The other part of the Fourth Amendment to the agreement is that he become current with all escrow fees that are due to the township to pay its professionals for the reviews, and he has in fact already provided a check of approximately $17,000 to get current with the escrow fees.
Isn't that the part of that final approval, an absolute date where closing has to be filed by?
Yes, there is an absolute date. It's a small part of it is that he has an absolute date by which to provide all of the information that is necessary to get final approvals, and then that will then ultimately establish the closing. So if the council authorizes this amendment, we are very hopeful that not only will we have a closing on this property in the next couple or 3 months at the latest, and then ultimately the property would go back on the tax rolls, and Mr. Patelli can begin construction of the, I believe it's 53 or 54 homes.
Where are they again, Dennis? The homes? I don't know where.
In the brown middle section, off
Bobolink.
Bobolink.
yeah, off Evergreen.
Continuing on with this resolution, this project has been going on for quite some time. What is the time frame from start to finish, not just his approvals, but that he has to pay the township? Like, how much further is this going out?
The payments are in 3 installments. At the closing of the property, the township is due. The township will retain a $250,000 deposit that was made back in 2007. Plus, the township will receive, I believe it's $270,000 in addition to that. Then, 1 year after the closing, the township is due another $330,000, $390,000, and then an equal amount a year after that.
And then $1,000 a lot.
Right, and Andy, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe there's no obligation for the purchaser, Mr. Patelli, to actually build a house. His obligation is to get the plans in, get the plans approved, and then make the payments to us. And our whole goal, primary goal is to get payment for our property, which he owes us notice for 10 years, which this agreement allows us, to receive our payments. We have incentives built into the agreement for us to get more money through this agreement by the sale of homes, depending on what he sells them for. So obviously, we'd like him to build a home. We think it's a good place to develop. But if he decides he just wants to own vacant property and doesn't build any houses, we'll get the taxes off of it, which we're not getting now.
Well, my concern is the length this has been going on and the fact that the town has been paid.
Right, and that's our concern. That's what we've been arguing and fighting since the day I took office. I asked for what you said you were going to purchase from us. We're there.
The real estate decline, the real estate market plummeting in 2007, 8, 6, 7, 8 just killed us. Really, the developers just wouldn't go ahead with the market. That was.
But at the same time, I understand that the market went down, but the town's been held hostage for 10 years and not been paid.
Yeah, which is why a lawsuit was initiated. So, but he has to get paid not to litigate. So.
Resolution 65, 2017. I know a little bit about the meals to seniors from the county. Are we putting funds into this? Because Meals on Wheels used to be a county program, solely a county program, covered by the county budget. So, has something changed?
This is not Meals on Wheels. This is the senior meals program at the senior center.
Which used to be funded by the county. She's correct with that.
But they had
They did stop.
It's still funded through a grant.
Right.
But the grant requires the township to ask for donations from those attending the senior center, which we do. We ask for it's $1 or $2.
Yeah, that's about.
And that's what the cost of the meals are more than that. I think they're $5 or something. But there's a grant that the county gets, and they distribute the grant throughout the different places in the county that hold these type of activities, and we're one of the largest, and we piggyback off of that grant, receive a benefit out of it.
And that's what the county takes care of, the meals, the noonday.
Yeah, they take care of, they apply for the grant, they distribute it, they contract the meals and distribute the meals.
Resolution number 66, 2017. I have a few questions with regard to this resolution. I'd like some explanation as to It's an application for a grant for training funds for adequate fire and emergency response. Can somebody elaborate a little bit more on that before I ask my next question?
This is an application for funds for a volunteer fire company to train and to train new recruits and to recruit additional members for the fire company and the fire department.
In addition to equipment maintenance.
Correct.
Doesn't the township already pay for training when someone initially comes on board?
This is an opportunity to get another level of government, another government entity to pay for training rather than having to put it into our own budget.
Can you give me an approximate range on the grant? What you're looking, what you could possibly get?
Craig told us that we, but I don't remember what it was. I don't remember.
I don't recall the specific amount, but I think the request is approximately $100,000 or $125,000, some such number. This is an application. It's not something that we've been granted or...
No, I understand it's an application. I just, when you guys put the agenda together, there's not always a sufficient description of things. Can I go into new business?
Yeah,
Discussion and possible introduction of the 2017 budget. Where does that stand right now?
It was presented to council last Friday.
Okay, last I checked over the weekend, it was not yet posted to the township website.
We typically won't put it on the website until we get it to council, and council has an opportunity to determine when it's going to introduce.
I would request that the council, if at all possible, have it posted immediately, because I think taxpayers have a right to see it. I can understand you guys get to see it, but so do we.
You're absolutely correct that it will be posted before any public hearings are held.
I'm just saying to give the town enough time to look at it for those of us who want to look at it.
You're right, I'm sure as soon as it's introduced, it will be put on the website.
In addition to the website, don't we put it in the local library, in addition to, Amy, where else does it go?
It goes to the library.
Just,
And in the summer, it gets put in paper.
Last one, Resolution 63, 2017. Who are these professional planners?
Remington and Vernick.
There was a list.
Yeah.
Are they a continuation from last year?
Oh, you're right. Bach Associates, CME Associates, Remington and Vernick, and Orango.
It was like the special counsel list.
Yeah, it's just a pool.
It's a pool. So if there's a project, there's one that can be selected for that particular project.
One last question, I'm sorry. At the last council meeting, the mayor indicated that plans were sent to a developer in Maryland for the Presidential Lakes, the old Presidential Lakes fire building. And where are things at this point in time?
we're working with the engineers at this point to do some work on the property, along with some remediation work. There's a tank that's being removed from the property. The company is working up numbers for us. We're just got an email today actually to get them a little more information that they want, along with what the engineers are doing, and hopefully we'll have a little better number on what this is going to cost, but we're moving forward with the project. Well, like I said, it depends on how the budget goes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Yes.
not open to Township Board Liaison.
Good evening.
Yeah. Actually, I have a request for the council. Is there a way that we can reach out to the county roads department and have proper crossing for Trenton Road for the students? Especially now that the board has started their construction over there and we have large construction vehicles going up and down the roadway.
I thought they told us that they were gonna do something for crossing there.
We have reached out to the county and made that recommendation, and we're not getting any response. Maybe the board could strengthen that. Actually, I think we asked the board to strengthen that with a letter of support or pursue the issue with the county because they're not responding to the township.
Can you prepare something for the county, or a letter for the county, please?
We did reach out to the
Let
county.
us know when you're gonna start construction on North Pemberton Road until the day before.
I know our board president is reaching out to the county to strongly suggest that something get done over there because it's an accident waiting to happen, and unfortunately we do have kids walking because of budget cuts within the school system as well. But, I can't go into details, but we need to really probably get something done over there, maybe some signals, some kind of a light, something indicating that there is a crossing there. Because I will say my own grandson was almost hit over there this past year. He was provided a school bus because it goes to Depot School. And when the school bus came up to the stop, the car, instead of going around the left of the bus, who ran the light, went around the right and almost took up the sidewalk, along with my grandson. But thank God he had enough sense to jump back and get out of the way. But if we can kindly get somebody in, because according to the county, they can't step on the toes of the administration here. So,
Well, if you're getting that response, ask them to put that in writing, because I don't know how they can say that when it's a county road, and it's an issue between the Board of Education and the County of Burlington, because it is a county road. We've made this argument to them. They don't seem to feel that way. I don't know how, but watched some of the recent county activity, you'll understand that it seems that they continue to push their obligations back on the municipalities. As most recent as 2 weeks ago, a week ago in the paper, they were asking towns to fill potholes on county roads. We pay county taxes for county roads. Who's filling my potholes? Yeah, and that's what they're asking. They've asked towns to plow county roads. They'll give us salt. They'll give us patch. Well, they keep pushing all these obligations onto the towns. And here again, they're telling you that this is a town issue and they don't step on our toes. Get them to put that in writing because I don't know how they can make that argument. We made the argument to them that it's an unsafe condition and that they're responsible, and they've ignored it.
now was there an application sent to the county for this very thing? Of the crossing and stuff on Trenton Road for the kids?
There's been conversations with the county engineer, and I believe emails, and we sent a letter, I believe. And again, their letters to us are, their comments to us are township issue. We've expressed that it's not.
But because we even went as far as reaching out to Deborah to help with some kind of a signal or something there, and Deborah saying it's not their problem.
Nope. County has to authorize anything that happens on that road. Signage, signals, lighting, all has to go through the county.
I think we all agree that it's all of our problems except Burlington County. They won't agree to that. But what we're arguing is it's Burlington County's obligation, and that's where we're having the problem. They don't seem to think that putting crosswalks on county roads for school kids is an obligation of theirs.
So,
Well, essentially, what the county says is that they want the township to pay for 50% of some unknown cost, and what we've told them, and what I've told the business administrator from the school district is, clearly there is a problem there, and the problem came to a head because the mayor communicated with the county. It's the county's responsibility. It is incredible that they want the township to pay additional money to meet their responsibility to the residents of Pemberton Township.
So the clerk's going to pen a letter, and I shall have it for you tomorrow. I'm also going to ask Mr. Bear to reach out to them as well.
Well, the only thing I can say about this is that if something doesn't get done for the sake of the kid, it's going to hurt everybody's pocket in the process. Thank you.
Mrs. Maldonado, before you go, not to put you on the spot, do you have any updates or any additional information on the lead testing that was being conducted through the district?
No, I don't.
No? Okay.
I have a meeting tomorrow night, so maybe we'll do something then.
Okay. If you find out anything, maybe you could circulate it to us, if possible, at one of the future meetings. Thank you.
Ms. Phillips?
Good evening, everybody in general.
Good evening.
My first question will be in reference to the building MPL, the old firehouse. Last time when I was there, I was told that he will have more information for me tonight, the mayor. Can you tell me what you found out? I hear a few minutes ago that you mentioned something about that.
They're going to be removing a tank, assuming it's an oil tank. An oil tank, some remediation in the building as far as asbestos, I'm assuming.
What we have to do is we have to do an analysis of an environmental analysis, and the engineers are doing a topographical report, which will be necessary for the company to be able to price out the construction.
And there's an engineer, or I guess an architect or an engineering firm or a builder working on plans at this time.
Okay, my next question is in reference to the building. When the building is done, what is coming to the building?
I don't know, we don't have plans yet. Plans are still being worked on.
Okay. That means I hope before the spring. If I'm not mistaken, it's going to be most 4 years where that development doesn't have a building where they call it firehouse. My question in reference to that, where I asked seconds ago, was when people asking me in the community or in the development when I've been in my meeting, what is coming up in there? Some of them being told that there will be no fire engines coming to there, some of them being told that there is no ambulance coming to there, some being told that there is a building where the township is going to manage. I understand that. I know that the township property. But the residents, we need safety as number one. If I'm not mistaken, I was listening in reference to the FEMA grant where they want to put it on it. I know it's like an application. But we got to have a building before we can send those individuals to get training. You don't have a building, where do you want to put them?
We have 2 firehouses in the town. So we do have buildings. 45 volunteers? Yes.
45 volunteers?
Yes.
In the whole township? And when a Pemberton Township collect all the ambulance for the fire company where they close, I was taking a walk today, and this is the first time I saw that, to be honest with you. One of the ambulances where the taxpayer pay for, they use it for public work. Public work, and Pemberton Township got one of the ambulances.
Maybe it was in there for some repairs.
No, wasn't. Wasn't PL.
We moved vehicles into Public Works multiple times, and we recently moved another vehicle into Public Works that was not being used, and it's not even our spare, it's our spare to the spare. So we have sufficient amount of ambulances to support the volunteer EMS service that we're providing. We're comfortable there. And we don't see the need to have something just sitting, not being used, so we're repurposing equipment. Yes.
But would you want to?
Taxpayers paid for that equipment, yes, and the taxpayers are getting their money's worth because it's now being used instead of sitting idle.
Well, the way I look at it, an ambulance is to be clean and keep it when it's an emergency.
It's no longer an ambulance, Mrs. Phillips. It's no longer an ambulance. It is now a public works truck.
Okay. Now, since the weather started getting nice, I do a lot of walking. I mean, do a lot of research too. I noticed in Rhode Island, the road has been finished. Now they work in Washington. The drainage, what I call it dummy drainage, they were done. They give it us, those people in those houses, a skirt for your driveway. Guess what? 2015. Tennessee Trail, the 100 block, to Wisconsin, was paved. They throw the slab, the pavement there. Nobody got the skirt. Nobody got no drainage. Nobody got nothing. The doctor still in the budget that someday these people won't have that? Somebody can answer me that? Why?
I'm sorry, Mr. Lewis, what was, you're looking, can you say that again? The, which?
In 2015, Tennessee Trail for 115 on the block to the end on Wisconsin to 101 Tennessee was paved. The other part was paved in the past, little early than that. Well, when they paved that stretch there, nobody were put in a skirt, nobody got drainages. When the people right now, like I said, Rhode Island, I know what's a problem in there. I remember when Jason was a counselor. Even I meet him there, and I show him the problem. That is fine. Those people are, right now, are safe. And it's great for the people who work every day. We gotta cross the roads every day. But, all of them got drainage. Why they did not put drainage on the Tennessee Trail?
We put drainage in and incur the cost of drainage where it's necessary. So if we don't put drainage in a particular location, that means that the additional cost in the drainage is not necessary.
How do we determine where the drainage go, what is necessary?
Where there is substantial amounts of water that collects without the drainage.
That is very funny because half of the Tennessee Trail street got all drainage. Everybody got drainage around it. And we are the only one. When Kentucky Trail, if I'm not mistaken, with a private contractor, paved that road for New York to Wisconsin. They put the drainage before they put the paved road. And when I was asking questions, when they were going to pave the road on Tennessee Trail, I was told they go and do the road first, and later on you can with the drainage. That's stupid. A kindergarten kid, child can tell you got to open that hole before you can put the road.
A question, the roads in question with us, the drainage, are there like constant flooding or a large pool of water there?
I speak for myself. I live in there. In my house, even the engineer, the Pemberton Township used to have, I don't know if they still have it, he came to my house, and when raining very hard, I had water in my basement.
From pools of water?
For all the water come from the street, from Wisconsin to all the way to Tennessee. And they told me they were going to take care of that. Well, they took care of it very well, because they slapped, they put the paved road in there, and help with you, because there ain't no drainage, there ain't no skirt, there ain't nothing in there. Okay, I want to tell the public work thank you. I saw that they were working today in the Presidential Lake Park by the beach. They were doing a very very nice job. They've been done a very good work. But my question is, are you not getting nowhere with the houses? See plenty of houses there. The those blocks, they were in an auction a few weeks ago. Any of those blocks were from PL? I want to know. Somebody asked me that.
Any of the what?
They have an auction about a month ago, if I'm not mistaken, in lots.
Oh, okay.
Any of those lots were in Presidential Lake?
Do you remember? The one I don't have it with me. I don't recall exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a list on the resolution.
Yeah, I don't have it with me. No.
Yeah, because some of the residents asked me about it because they got empty lot. I got empty lot next door to me. I don't want that empty lot anyway, and I know the township cannot do nothing with that empty lot. The only way you can do something with those empty lots and there is you bring a city water. It's the only way. Otherwise, those lots go and sit there. Okay, well, I want to give you the information to the rest of Presidential Lake and reference what is going on with the building, where I guess fire trucks coming in there. And I will come the next time because I've been yes for most of the 3 months. I've been in and out asking what is going on with the building. Just going back to the information where you people gave me, and I will see you in 2 weeks. God's willing.
Thank you.
Good night and thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Anyone else? Mr. Ben?
I need to revisit a conversation and discussion that I brought up last spring about creek water drainage on our street where I live in the neighborhood. It was first brought to the attention of the Public Works at the end of March, beginning of April. Came to a council meeting in April to discuss the problem with the council. I showed you guys some pictures. I discussed it with the mayor and the business administrator. Didn't hear really anything after that. Came back to another council meeting in May. Discussed with the business administrator the urgency of the problem there. Over the subsequent months, over the summertime, I had several discussions with the mayor over the phone about what was going to be done about it, what the options were, and when it was going to get done. Nothing really happened until the first week of October. They came out, they sprayed a line along the side of the street, and they constructed a berm. When they did that, when they painted the line and I saw where they were going to construct it, I think I had a conversation with Phil about the length of it and where it was going to dump the water to. And he said it would be addressed. The day they came out to fix it, I just happened to be off work that day. I went out there to see how they were doing it and at what point it was going to end. During that discussion, one of the guys called the supervisor, I think his name was Brian. He came out, looked at it. I discussed with him the discussion I had with Phil about how it was going to be constructed, and what was going to happen if they constructed it the way they were going to do it that day. And he said they were going to come back, put some crushed stone in there, go into the woods as a spillway. They never came back. I had a phone conversation with the mayor a week later. He assured me that they were going to come out and correct it. It was never corrected. I also had a conversation with the mayor that day about the damage to my property that occurred due to that. We also had discussions, and I believe that the council was all part of the discussion back in April about the townships holding responsibility for the disbursement and management of street water drainage. He assured me that they were going to take care of it, but unfortunately, there is nothing that the township can do to the damage to my property. Now, in January, when it rained one day, we took a video of it to show exactly what's happening as a result of the construction that the township workers did along the front of my property. So, Steve, can you bring your phone up? We have a short video on my son's phone, and I'd just like you guys to watch that, and you will clearly see how the rainwater is running down the street. It's not only running down my street, but the cross street that's above us, the rainwater is coming off of that street, running down our street, and it's all collecting in our property. And then at the end of the video, you'll see where the water is funneling in at the end of the berm, and it's actually created a quicker rate of erosion on my property. It's not connected.
It's horrible in here.
So when you say damage to your property, can you just expound on that a little bit? What type of damage is?
Well,
What is,
the road comes down. In front of my house, there's a cement parking pad, about 2 cars wide. On the berm, let's say the road's coming down here. This is where the corner of the parking pad is. The berm comes right to here. The water's coming down the road, and it's actually coming from the end of the road where the neighbors are, which is at the end of the neighborhood. All the water's running down to where that berm is, and you can see it coming as a funnel and running onto the ground next to my cement pad. And it runs along the cement pad. It goes out about 14 or 16 foot where it's developed a ravine that goes into the woods. And the hole is about this deep now. It's about this wide. It's probably about 14 foot long now. And since that berm has been built, that hole has actually increased in size towards the road by about 2 feet. And if I lay down on this cement pad, I can reach underneath there with my arm where the hole is, and I can't even feel the back wall in there. That's how much soil has gone out of it. I've tried to contact a couple contractors to come out and give me prices to repair it. 2 places that I contacted said they didn't want to look at it or touch it because the rainwater coming off the street is just going to continue to erode, and any other work that they would be done along the roadside, they didn't want to be responsible for because I'm not allowed to contract somebody to do road work. I believe that by law I'm not allowed to do any road work. Is that correct?
Yes, it's not your property. Right.
Correct. Okay. I had another contractor come out. He gave me a price just to throw dirt in there after excavating it open and putting a big mound of dirt on the road, at the edge of the road, so the water doesn't flow into my property. So it basically will flow into the property next to that, where there's a big light pole and a big tree. So if the water goes there, it's going to erode that tree, and that light pole is going to fall over by erosion. It's kind of common sense. The last contractor I had come out said that he could backfill it with crushed stone, put a French drain in there, and up by the road put a drain, which is going to catch the water, go through the French drain, and go out into the woods, where it's basically going right now. And that estimate was for $2,700. The problem with that goes back to my responsibility to either the township or another taxpayer. If I was to do that, I would basically be carrying the water from the street on my neighbor's property, causing damage on his property, which could possibly make me liable for damage to his property, if I'm not mistaken. To
You're saying the woods is your neighbor's property?
Correct. From my parking pad to the property line is probably where that little hole is right there. It's that much space. And in that space is where the hole is. So, I don't know what to do. The last conversation I had with the mayor was, we're going to come out and do something about it. We can't do any work, the township can't do any work on your property, and we can't pay for a contractor to do it unless, without a court order. I completely don't understand that. I can't believe that there's no liability insurance or a provision where the council can vote on funds for property damage, which the township is clearly found responsibility on. I just don't understand that. I mean, I came in the spring, discussed it, I thought we were on the same page. I said, listen, I just want to get it fixed the easiest and the most cost-effective way. And here I am now with the bigger problem that I had last spring, and it's just getting worse. So I don't know what to do. I mean, I can't do any work on the road because I can't do that by law. You know, and if I fix it, so my property doesn't erode, I'm creating a problem for my neighbor. So I don't know where to go with this. I really don't. And you guys, can you tell me if, I mean, what the mayor's telling me is that there is no funds available to you to pay for the damage on your property. Is that true? Does it have to be done by a court order?
Before council answers that, I'd like to respond to your comments, and I apologize. I know we spoke at least once, maybe twice at best, and I don't remember your name.
Troy Fenn.
Yes, Troy, thank you. And I can drive to your house, I know exactly where it's at, I know what the problem is, but what's the address so we can...
2 3rd Avenue.
Okay, Dennis is taking this down. So we're clear. Well, you know, it's not like we have Thanksgiving dinner and all that, and that's why I apologize, I don't know your name. But we did speak, and I did tell you I would have Public Works take care of this, and that is correct. I did not tell you that the only way we could do work on your property is with a court order, and I did not tell you we did not have funds to do work on your property. What you were told was we are responsible for the water on our property, the roads, and we're responsible for making sure it doesn't get to your property, and we would take care of that. I informed you that there's a process if you have damage on your property from our fault, and you would have to put in a claim for that, and that would go through the process. But I also told you we legally can't do work on your property, as you say, and understand you can't legally do work on our property.
I understand that.
That's the gist of what we discussed. Now, that being said, I assure you that I instructed Public Works at least twice to get this done. And to my knowledge, it was done. Until you come in here today discussing this, I had no knowledge that this was still occurring. And that will be addressed. We will be meeting with Public Works tomorrow and finding out why township water is still affecting your property. That's not going to continue. We will address that, and our guys will stop whatever they're doing to get on something they were told to do. And they may have thought they did it, and it just didn't work. And I'm hoping that's the case, because they are pretty good, as you say. They were out there. They come out there and did some work, but obviously it's not working. So they need to readdress this problem and fix it and get a final product there that you're satisfied and we're satisfied with. But as far as the damage to your property, you have to take the process and the steps that are required in order for you to get compensation.
What is
I believe you have to put a support claim.
Well, we can't, well...
Right, you would have to, I'm not going to advise you on how to beat us in court.
I'm not, that's not what
I understand that, but no, I'm just saying, but the process would be you file what's called a tort claim, which is a claim of damages to your property or you from us, and then it goes its course. But obviously I can't tell you how to.
So there's no liability insurance that the township has or provision.
We're not saying
township.
We're not saying that.
No, we're not saying that.
We can't just. What the mayor is saying is that the process, he says, to quote start is that if you file a tort claim, the township is insured through a joint insurance fund, and then there's a process by which claims are evaluated and adjudicated. So you just complaining to the township about it orally wouldn't start the process. You need to file a formal claim. If you go to the clerk's office, the clerk has a form.
Okay, that was not told to me.
She can give you a form.
I did inform you that we can't do work or pay you for your property, and I did inform you the only way you can get reimbursement for your property was filing a tort claim with the township.
That's not what you told me.
We had to discuss.
No,
I would
you
never
said
have told you that we didn't have the funds to do it because we can't do it.
Your Honor,
Well, there's no reason.
There's no reason to argue about it.
I know. I don't want to argue. I just want it to be properly fixed.
And we will address the issue of the water
I
coming
mean,
from
if
the
it
road
was
to your
as
property.
easy as me to go to the clerk's office and fill out a form and get it looked at and then say, hey, here's my...
That's not, we don't make a decision on claims against the township. The decisions on claims against the township is made by the Burlington County Joint Insurance Fund. They decide whether it's something that the township is responsible or not responsible for, and their decision is final. It's not our decision. Ultimately, the claim is not the mayor's decision. It's not my decision. It's not the council's decision. If the Joint Insurance Fund claims administrators say to you, we're denying the claim because it's not something that the township is responsible for, then they'll deny the claim, and then it's up to you to take whatever action you want legally with respect to that claim.
Well, okay.
Keep in mind, that's only the side of the equation for the damages you claim that the township may have caused to your property. We're going to address what we're responsible for, and what we agree that we're responsible for, and that's keeping the water on our property and not coming to yours. And we're going to address that. As I told you, Dennis is writing this down. I know he's probably as adamant as I am about getting things done and done right, and not chasing them like this. And I can only believe that our guys thought they got the problem done. But if you say you've been continuously going down there telling them that the problem's not done, then they should have readdressed it. And we're going to find out tomorrow from them what is going on.
I am aware that they created the berm, and I'm also aware that they offered to drop off fill so that you could fill on your property.
If they would have dropped that load of dirt, and I would have put it in that hole, by now half of that would have been washed out into the woods now. That's why when Phil called me to make an arrangement to drop it off, I told him, I said, don't bring it because you're throwing money out the window.
And if the water problems still exist, and I'm not going to say I agree with you, but you may be right. So we will address the water issue. We'll get on that tomorrow. We'll get Public Works back down there and try and find a solution to keep the water from our property from getting on your property or anyone else's property that don't belong. That we are responsible for, and we'll address that. And George, if we can have your email address, she'll email that form to you.
Okay, so I just write it on here next to my name?
Yeah, that would be good.
Yes.
Council President, could I make a quick request? Because Mr. Pham brought this to the attention of council as well, can we have like some sort of update when this project is complete?
Administration.
Because Mr. Pham brought this issue to council as well, could council have some sort of update when this issue is complete so we know it's resolved?
Sure.
Thank you.
Not to harp on you, Mr. Mayor, but I just want to go over that last conversation that we had again.
Yeah, that's true. That's not going to get resolved. I mean, it's a he said, she said sort of
All
thing.
right, but if he would have told me at that point, what you need to do is go to the town clerk, and that can start the process, I would have done that in October. That's my point.
And I don't know that I directed you to the town clerk. In our conversation, I would have only told you that the way you would get compensated for your damage on your property would be to file a tort claim. We didn't get into specifics, because I'm not going to get into specifics on how you fight your legal battle.
You said if you're going to take it to court, I cannot discuss it with you.
Exactly, and that's where we left it on that part. I didn't give you the steps on how to file the tort claim. I just instructed you to get compensation for your property damage. You would have to start a process by filing a tort claim, and I can't get into that. But again, that's the other side of the equation. You know, I just want to clear that we didn't get into this long thing where I said we didn't have the funds to fix your damage.
Well, no, you didn't tell me that. You just said that.
Okay, because that's what you said to council. I just wanted them to understand it.
No, you said that. I just told the council that the funds were not available unless by a court order. Those were your exact words, by a court order.
So the conclusion is you have, the email is there, and our township clerk is going to send you the proper paperwork, and you guys are going to have Public Works go back out, and then we'll go from there. Does that sound like a plan as of now?
Yeah, I mean, that's great. I mean, all I wanted is just to be properly
absolutely.
fixed. That's all I'm asking.
I
I'm
understand.
not asking for an arm and a leg or pain and suffering or anything like that. I don't think what I'm looking for is...
Whether it involves getting our engineers involved, if it's that extensive, you know, whatever it's going to take to resolve this. If our guys can't come up with a solution on their own, then our engineers will find a solution to keep our water from coming on your property, because I believe that is our obligation, and we'll do that. And we've done this in other areas with other folks, and we'll do that with you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, we close this portion of the meeting to public comment. Consent agenda, all items listed with an asterisk are considered to be routine by the Township Council will be enacted by one motion. Should a council member wish to discuss a consent agenda item separately, that item can be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the regular agenda. Council, we've added 2 resolutions to this. 3 resolutions to the consent agenda, 67, 68, 69. Are there any other changes to the consent agenda?
I just have a question about, I'm going to pull 62, 217.
Okay. Anyone else?
No. Was going to pull 64, but Mr. Quinn already...
I had the same thing. All right, is there a motion on the consent agenda as amended?
Motion to approve the consent agenda as amended.
Second.
Poll the council, please.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson? Yes. Mr. Gardner?
Yes.
Mr. Corrier?
Yes. Resolution 62, 2017, authorizing cancellation of trust balances to surplus in a total amount of $77,000 and some change. Mr. Gardner.
I read it. I know what it is. I just want to like a clarification on it. That's all I need.
Okay.
I better understand all of it.
There were applications made for some sort of construction, not knowing what it specifically is. They deposit funds into a trust account. For some reason those funds were unexpended. No one seems to want to take ownership of these funds, so the council or the township is retaining ownership and transferring it into the general account.
So it's basically ours.
Yes.
Okay.
And just to clarify, the township